That accountant referred so many people to me because he knew when it came around to his work at year end, it would be super simple because I was completely systemized with quality control. There was nothing he would have to fix. So it was like, that was a win-win. I won because I got all these new clients. He won because he got a whole bunch of year ends that he could charge $2,500 for. Done.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I'm your host, Michael Palmer. And in the finale of our Stephen Covey series with Lisa Campbell, we go deeper with win-win client relationships, discovery that actually sells, team synergy, and sharpening the saw so you can sustain bigger results and charge confidently for the value you deliver. Let's dive into that conversation right now. So next one is thinking win-win.
Oh, there's lots of win-wins. Okay, let's look at it with just the client relationship first.
Mm-hmm.
The client relationship, it has to be a mutual benefit. You have to win, the client has to win, right? I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, they do something wow for the client, it's amazing, but then they didn't get paid for it, right? So who won? The client won, right? Or you're doing a lot of out-of-scope work and you're not charging for it, the client's winning. It has to be a win-win. The client has to see your value. You charge for your value. The client gets the results. You get paid. Everybody's happy. That's a win-win. Same thing with your team. If you do have team, it has to be a win-win. You can't treat your team like minions or, they're not important in your world. Even if you run a super high-level advisory firm, every person on your team is valuable. You need those people to be able to do your job. Right? So you trust them. They do a great job. They own their space. So it has to be a win-win with the team in that the team feels valuable. They have autonomy. They think like an entrepreneur, that they own their own space. You win because they're doing exactly what you need them to do, which is enabling you to produce results for the client. That's a win-win.
This is an important one. I think it's more important than it's ever been in today's world where people are becoming very focused on other things, television shows, social media, buried in the news. It becomes almost isolating, even though people think that they're expanding themselves in social media, they're learning about all these other things in the news. What it can do is actually isolate people. And when you step away from that and start to think of others first, and how is this person going to win? How will I win? And how will this person win? That mindset is an automatic improvement on your relationship with anyone in your life.
Absolutely. It's a little simple habit that he's talking about that you apply personally, you apply it to your business, whatever your business is, but especially when you're dealing with somebody's financial information and your team is dealing with this information, there has to be an element of trust. There has to be that the client has to feel like they're winning. Your team has to feel like you're winning. It creates collaboration. It creates trust. It creates creativity because now we can work together as a team. We're all winning in this situation, whether it's a new development we're doing in the firm, something we're all learning together, whether it's a new avenue we're taking, whether it's a new project the client wants to take on. They're trusting your team. Or you, if it's just you, to help them along that because you've established that everything we do is a win-win.
So true. That's a big one. That's an easy one to do. That's a very accessible one to everyone. There's nothing in the way of anyone stopping right now and starting to implement that. And it's one of those behavior change because we're all trying to do our thing and live our life. And some people are just naturally think like that.
Yeah.
But you can start to shift your focus, but I think it's about being present to where you are, to yourself, your own goals, and then also why are you doing it and thinking of how are the people around me going to win as well.
Yes.
And you want to surround yourself with people like that too. So it's not just you
Absolutely.
thinking that way, but like, can you find other people? You'll attract more of those people, I think, if you're thinking that way, because guess what? Win-win people don't want to hang out with people who just want to, win themselves. So you start to attract people and be around people like that. It's good. It's good for life, period.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing too is because, business owners or bookkeeping business owners, we're entrepreneurs. We're not corporate. That might be our entity structure. That doesn't matter. We have the ability to create the culture that we want in our business. I cannot personally imagine working in a corporate world where I can't stand, everybody by the office cooler or whatever. Like, ew, can you imagine going to work and not enjoying the people you work with? Like we'll get into it. There's synergy and all that other stuff.
I worked in the corporate world for 10 years.
I've never worked in corporate. I'm so proud of that.
Yes.
I cannot, and I knew that. I knew that since I was about 16, that I would never, ever work in corporate. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I wasn't going to do that.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
you did well. I think I learned a lot there, and I learned that I didn't want to be there. That was probably the best learning.
I can imagine. I cannot imagine that life. But again, it goes back to we can create the culture that you want. So you're creating a win-win culture. You're building something because we've got the end in mind. You have the ability to create your life, like through your business. Your business is going to support your life. Right. So we as entrepreneurs have the ability to do that. And the other beautiful part is we're working with entrepreneurs. We can help them. It's great. It's very, very rewarding.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to the next one. And I think this one, pretty powerful one. Seeking first to understand, then to be understood.
Yes. Okay. We can use this in so many different ways, but the one I usually start with is bookkeepers, when they get a lead or something and they get on a discovery call. A lot of times what they're doing is selling their services. They're talking about what they can do. They're talking about how fast they can do it, or at what rate they can do it, or how big their team is, or how many awards they've won. Check out my website, check out this, check out that. And they're almost selling, right? When you get on a conversation with a client at a different level and you're asking them questions about why they've reached out to you, what's going on, what is the goal, what are you trying to achieve, and you explore, like you're having a conversation and you're listening. What does this person need? And then you think, can I help them? 9 times out of 10 you can, but the odd time you can't. If you can help them, you go deeper. What are we trying to do this for? What's going on immediately? Is there an urgency? Is there something happening? You're listening. A lot of times people will listen to people and you can almost see their lips moving. They're thinking about what they're going to say next, right? We don't want that. You have to be fully present. And I'm not talking woo-woo. Just, shut your mouth and listen. And also ask the right questions. Leading questions, not yes or no questions. They have to be open-ended questions where the client or prospect feels comfortable telling you what's going on in their life, what's going on in their business, why they're reaching out to you, and then you have a conversation about how you can help them. And when we're doing our high-level programs, we get into the nitty-gritty about that, about how you actually do that. But it's like, don't go into the weeds with it, but it's just a conversation. You're listening, and then you're talking, and the client understands that you could possibly be the solution to their problem. So first you understand, then you seek to be understood. That's it.
We'll get back to the interview right after this word from our sponsor. Introducing Dext, the #1 bookkeeping automation platform that makes your life easier. Dext captures your client's data with incredible accuracy and delivers it seamlessly into your workflow, integrating with over 30 accounting softwares. Imagine having more time to focus on what truly matters, like helping your clients, growing your firm, or taking a well-deserved break. With Dext, you can trust the data is accurately extracted, categorized, and submitted every time. What if communicating with your clients could be simple? Your clients can easily send in their records via mobile, email, or drag and drop. With built-in reminders, everyone stays on the same page, eliminating the hassle of endless email chains. Are you ready to streamline your bookkeeping processes? Join thousands of accountants and bookkeepers in the Dext community. Go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com/Dext to book a demo today and see how Dext can make your work life easier. Thank you for hearing from our sponsor. Now let's get back to the interview. So it's a powerful one. And it'll just doing that from a sales perspective, understanding clients. And people often think of selling as, oh, that's the beginning. And it's like you do it at the beginning of the relationship. Selling never ends.
No.
You're
And
always selling something, selling an idea,
always.
selling a behavior change, selling a direction to go. And so if you start with this and really get to understand people and go in with that curiosity to understand what's really going on, it's going to really help throughout the entire relationship.
It is, absolutely. I mean, I've had people, I'll do the Masterclass several times a year, and I'll get people on a call afterwards. And, maybe they're 6 months into running their business and they've got little kids at home and it's go, go, go. And they're kind of new and stuff like that. And they say, you know what, I really want to join your program. I'm going to put it on my line of credit. And so I'm understanding I ask them, well, what's going on in your life? Right? What's going on in your business? Okay, you've got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and you're running back and forth for preschool, and you're trying to build your business. I'm understanding where they're at, and I will tell them, no, you are not ready. This is not for you. I'm not selling them anything. I'm understanding where they're at. I understand where they want to go. I will point them in the next direction that they need to go in and tell them down the road, you're ready for that program. This is the action you need to take now. But that's because I listened. I don't actually just, take everybody in and say, yeah, come, let's go. No, I have to understand what the problem is, because you're not going to get the result. If you're not ready for it and you don't have the time to put into it, you're not going to get the result. So understanding in anything, if I had a prospect who was a retail business who needed help, categorizing inventory and stuff like that, no, that's not my jam. You have a problem with your cash flow management, absolutely, I can help you there. But I don't know anything about that. So letting the person discuss what the issue is, what they need help with, what is first and foremost in their mind, you've understood them, right? And that also builds trust. And I can tell you, I've had discoveries in the past, or discovery calls in the past, where just the understanding and the communication, the openness, the honesty, I've had that person that I've said no to refer somebody else who actually was a fit. Because you gotta go talk to her. She really gets you, and it just is great. It works really, really well. You do it with your team too. Something's going on with your team. Maybe somebody's messing up, they're following your system and everything. And all of a sudden you see something's going on, they're making more mistakes than usual. You go and have a conversation, a private one. What's going on? Right? And let them open up. You need to create a safe space for them to be able to do that. Again, that goes back to your culture. Right? They know that they can break down and cry in front of you and tell you what's going on. It's not, oh my God, Michael's making all these mistakes all of a sudden. I got to find somebody else. No, have the conversation, understand what's going on. And then in turn, they have to understand, okay, this is also affecting our clients. What can we do about this?
So true. I saw a really good example of this recently with my daughter. We were at an early days into music lesson, and my daughter's not super open to a lot of things, where it's she's going to do what she wants to do, and so she's gotten her to the music class, and the teacher's asking her a whole bunch of questions, and a lot of silence, a lot of head bobbing, nodding, shaking the head no, and she goes, have you played the ukulele? Do you do any music? One of the questions. Nope. Did you play the ukulele yet? Nope. Any music? Oh, I did the choir. Oh, and she's like, oh, did you like the choir? I hate the choir. And she's like, oh, okay, so she's getting something, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, so you don't like the choir? It's okay. It's what didn't you like about the choir? And so she asked a bunch of questions around it, and nothing. It's I just don't like it. And then she said, well, do you do the choir during school, or is it after school? It's on recess. She said, enough said.
There it is.
She understood.
Yes.
Right? She understood what, she had the understanding of exactly what the problem was, choir or recess. Choose, for a young girl, what does she want to do? She wants to go play out in recess. So
yeah.
It's one of those things where it's a discovery is a discovery. It's doesn't have to be robotic. It's a casual conversation, but it starts with curious. The teacher really wanted to know more about her interests in music And so it was a kind of a meandering through a bunch of questions, and she got to a really key piece of information, is that Michaela better like what she's doing and not want to be doing something else. Otherwise, they're not going to get very far.
100%. It works in business. It works in personal. You just got to open up and understand.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. The next one is synergy in teams and partnerships.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So team, synergy. Okay. So it's about collaboration in different levels. So if we look at collaboration with your team, if your team feels like all they do is follow instruction and hope they get it right and hope you don't come down on them, that's not synergy. If your team is a culture where you're having maybe weekly meetings, and it could be on Zoom, it doesn't matter, where you're actually bouncing ideas off of each other. You've opened up a space where your team could say, you know what? I found a better way to do this. Can we look at it? And you go, yes, that's amazing. More efficiency. Great. Thank you for finding that. That's a synergy where you're working together, you're collaborating. A lot of times bookkeepers will feel like there's a lot of competition. First of all, there's never, ever too many bookkeepers. There is so many businesses out there. It's your differentiator that's going to matter. What happens is they feel like they have to work alone. They have to compete. They got to make sure they know what the person down the street is charging and, protect their little entity, whatever you want to call it. But what happens when you expand and you collaborate with other people, whether that's other bookkeepers, CPAs, tax specialists, you are now building a network of people who understand exactly what you do, you know what they do, and you have all these people that you can bounce ideas off. Like if you've got an accountant that you maybe have 5-6 clients that you work through and you're working with year-end or issues throughout the year, you know that if some random issue comes up, you can just shoot an email off to that CPA and they'll give you the answer, right? Because they know things that you don't know and you know things that the tax preparer might not know. So that synergy of the collaboration with groups that are like-minded in your profession, it's fantastic. And what happens is the bookkeeper themselves, when you collaborate with all these other people, the bookkeeper who's got their eyes closest to the number becomes the person that people go to get clarity, right? You can't get clarity as a tax preparer unless you've talked to the bookkeeper who knows exactly what is going on day to day in that business. Even the CPA, they see the year-end stuff. You see the day to day. You see what's going on. You are actually a partner with that CPA in the strategy planning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It elevates you. Like people say to me a lot, how do I get more money? How do I get better clients? And it's all of these things. It's putting the right things in place, doing them first, collaborating with people, understanding, like all of these things build on each other. And then you are able to command those fees. It's really hard to do it when you don't put these things in place because first of all, you don't know your own value. You're not listening to what the person needs. You don't know if you can provide the result. You don't know anybody else. Right? You don't have any team or you have a team that you don't like. Like there's all of those things. That's like the negative side of the coin. We want to flip it. Simple little things you can put in place that make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, this one that pops up. We talk a lot about accountants. Accountants are fantastic referral partners. Information partners, having some great accountants relationships in your repertoire of people. I won't say the Rolodex. I won't use a Rolodex.
Oh,
can't even find a Rolodex to save your life these days. I should get one, vintage Rolodex. It's just there to look at and talk about.
Ask a Gen Z what that is.
Yes, use that as a cliche in all the podcast episodes. Well, I have one on my desk, so I can say it. No, but seriously, thinking about it, it's listen right now, as a bookkeeper, every single bookkeeper listening right now, they can pick up the phone, and every single client has several other professionals in their life that do services for them. Mm-hmm. And a bookkeeper, it sees all of it coming through. If you work with a financial planner, or you work with an accountant, or you work with a bank manager, or you work with all these professionals, right? Reaching out on the behalf of the client, obviously getting permission from the client, reaching out to say, look, I am the advisor. I want to let you know that if you have any questions, you can always bring me into the conversation with your client and connect with those people.
Yeah.
Because
Or
you
on the
will
flip side, you could say, I have other clients that could benefit from what you do. Could we have a conversation? Could we have a virtual coffee or go for coffee? Let's talk about what you do. Let's talk about what I do. And, I've got other clients that could use you.
that strategy alone for anyone that wants to find new clients is a magical, because you only need one
Huge.
client. It's
Huge.
like, and the best referral to a conversation is always from someone that you know, like, and trust. And
Yes.
they know, like, and trust your client. Your client knows and likes and trusts you. And the other service partner knows, likes, and trusts both ways too. So it's this beautiful party of know, like, and trust. And so it's like, let's get together, because if you like that person and I like you, is a really high likely or probability that that other person has other great people that belong in the community of people that you're working with. And so this synergy is so powerful, especially for bookkeepers, because you're right at the heart of the financial heartbeat of a business. And that's powerful. And so
you can take it further. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but you can take it even further. I talk about this a lot with people who want to niche out. I know for everybody outside of Canada, it's a niche, but if you're niching or niching, whatever you want to call it, you have also a surrounding community of that niche. I'm in Canada, so I'm going to say niche. But I talk about this in the masterclass. If you are, let's say you want to specialize in restaurants. Remember, restaurants have vendors. They have point of sale people. They have the people that deliver the alcohol. They have people that deliver the food. They have the linen companies. They have bands. They have all of these things. All of these people know other people. And if you connect with them, they have other restaurants. That's how you get in with other restaurants. Connect with the peripherals. It works.
Yeah,
so many ways you can do it. I mean, I had a network once we had HR consultants, we had, health benefit insurance for companies, experts there, like connections for absolutely anything an entrepreneur can need. I had a go-to.
Yeah. And one of the other habits that really help with this is thinking win-win. Because you walk into it's like, how is this going to help your client win?
Yes.
How is this going to help the service partner win? And if you start with that, you're going to get really far with it, because all those people, if you're thinking win, 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 how am I going to help all those other people win?
Yeah.
You're going to win.
Yeah. I'll give you a really quick example of win-win that was like so easy and it was actually unintentional. When I first started with Pure Bookkeeping and I had it fully installed and I came to the first year end of this massive client that we had, I took it to the CPA, followed everything I was supposed to do. The CPA was wowed. I literally had 4 adjusting entries come back. Usually people have multiple pages of adjusting entries that need to be entered. That accountant referred so many people to me because he knew when it came around to his work at year end, it would be super simple because I was completely systemized with quality control. There was nothing he would have to fix. So it was like, that was a win-win. I won because I got all these new clients. He won because he got a whole bunch of year ends that he could charge $2,500 for. Done.
Yeah. So great. So great. I love that story, and this is one that anyone can implement. You're right there, and that's why it's another highlight of how powerful the bookkeeping role is, and very often valued in terms of, or underestimated at how much influence you have, because you have that relationship around something so powerful like money with another business owner, that you can make things happen and help them be successful, and that will help you be successful.
And they need it. They need the help.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
they do.
You know, your backstory, we talked about that, your parents.
Yes, absolutely. My father.
You said to me several times, you wish, like when you and I were working together, you said you wish they had somebody like me that could have helped them, because I understand the numbers. It is such a win-win.
It is. There's a million people like my father who struggle. Great at what he did, but that was not his superpower. And
money.
The money, the organization, more than just the money, but like the organization, the organization of it. He was a technician. He was great at what he did, and that being a great technician does not make a great business. You need
and that happens a lot.
All the pistons firing, and that's another book, E-Myth, which is you got to have the manager, the entrepreneur, and the technician working in harmony to fuel and deliver on what the business needs to be successful. So, but when it came to the key thing though, even if he had none of the other stuff and he just had a great bookkeeper working with him and helping him through all of that, he'd have been far more successful and probably would have had a lot more sleep, restful nights.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah. No panic.
No, exactly. No waking up at 3 a.m.
Oh.
The next one is sharpen the saw.
Yeah, that's a good one. This is one people tend to.
This sounds dangerous. About. Should I get out some Band-Aids, some gauze? I feel like my finger is going to get cut off.
You're the saw. You are the saw. Okay, think about it this way. You are trying to do all of these things, and you tend to. A lot of bookkeepers I know and I've worked with, they are on burnout. They're just doing the grind. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not sleeping right. They don't get enough personal time because their work overflows into their personal time. They skip lunch. They sit at their desk. They don't do anything. They are oftentimes isolated. They're behind their desk all day, every day. They're not talking to people unless it's a client. Sharpening the saw is taking care of you. You've got to sharpen that blade. Okay? That means stand up in the middle of your workday. Set your alarm on your phone where you stand up and walk around for 10 minutes. Pack a lunch. Actually take a lunch break. Go away from your desk. Stay nutritionally healthy. Get sleep. Don't be downing coffee all day long. The other thing we want to do is work on our mind. Okay, so if you're isolated behind the computer all day, get involved with other groups. Get involved with people who do what you do and find out what they're doing. You always also have to invest in yourself. Read what's going on in the world. Read books by thought leaders like Stephen Covey. Watch podcasts or listen to podcasts. Watch webinars where people are developing. Invest in programs where if you want to go somewhere and someone has a program that will get you there, invest in it. You have to keep learning. You can't stay at the same level or you won't evolve. So it's twofold. It's sharpening your own, like you're the blade. You've got to stay sharp. You've got to be healthy. You've got to be rested, so that your mind can work better and provide those results. But on the other side of that, it's also when you're sharpening it, you're developing, you're becoming better and better, and you're evolving into the things that you want to do. Like I keep taking, when I was doing all my training with Profit First, and then I went to Mastery, and then now I run Canada. That's evolving. I couldn't have just stepped into that. I had to put myself in a place where I was going to invest in myself and keep working on myself to be able to lead other people so that they got results. I wouldn't have been able to do that just sitting behind my computer grinding out all day long.
It's remarkable. There is a ton of research that defies what people think about the work that they're doing. Like the idea that if you work just 5 more minutes, without taking a break or skipping a break, the impact that has actually reducing your productivity. It's like you're losing it. But the human mind doesn't think that way. It thinks it can't rationalize or calculate time very well. And so you think you're getting ahead, but you're actually further behind. There's a ton of research on this. And I think I love science-based. I love research. Yeah. I love that proof, right? So what I know, I'm going to look up some of that research and we're going to include it so if you want all the research for all of these habits, we'll give you the breakdown of all the research that goes behind this. So it's like almost beyond the book. Yep. Here's the living, real examples of how all of this has been studied and proven to affect people and how it affects your performance. And this one in particular, sharpening the saw, is a really delicate one because people often don't know. They're the fish in the water, right? Yep. That don't even know they're in the water. And that's a dangerous place to be when you don't know the cause and effect of the way you're working in your life, whether it's stress or working too hard or not getting enough exercise, whatever those things might be. There's a lot of research on this that will, surprisingly, just a short walk gets you taking a 15-minute break. It actually gives you like a half an hour of productivity. Magical, but you wouldn't even know it.
It works. Absolutely, 100%. Quite often I'll go outside my office and just walk around the building. So there's nothing to look at, but I just need to get out, get some fresh air, maybe some sunshine, and just, I come back. Okay, let's go. Beautiful. So we'll put all that research into the Successful Bookkeeper community under this course that we're putting into the Successful Bookkeeper. So just go in there and you'll find it there.
So sharpening saw is super big. Now you did the Masterclass, the Accelerator Method Masterclass. You do that several times a year.
Yep.
What habit or habits do you believe is most transformative for bookkeepers on the journey from compliance work to true advisory work?
Oh, it's a combination of all of them. Maybe not synergize. I mean, once they make the decision to go and do all the actions, then synergy is definitely a big one because they're in a group of like-minded people who are all on the same path. The biggest one? Okay, let's go with that. I'm going to say begin with the end in mind. They know where they want to go, or they think they know where they want to go. When we go through Masterclass, I pull out a lot of things that show them, if you did this, you're going to get that. If you do that, you're going to get this. Have you thought about this before you did that? So when people come in, I mean, it's accelerate to advisor. So they're all like, yeah, I want to be an advisor. Okay, that's your immediate end in mind. What does it look like? And I give them all the things that need to be put in place to get to that end. So I think that's the number one.
Lovely. You know what? I've been working with bookkeepers since 2009. I don't even know how many years that is. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And this conversation is really interesting and exciting because I've seen and heard and had so many conversations and watched how people have made a lot of progress and then how others have not. And I think each one leads to a different outcome. And it's not like you just go and start doing all of them. But if you pick one and you started working on it, would make a difference. I mean, there's beginning with the end in mind. Often people are catastrophizing the future rather than dreaming and thinking about what they truly want and how they want their life to look. And so instead of building that, they're building continually just the catastrophe that they exist and live in. And it's like that comes down to a lot of different things, like beliefs, how someone believes, their belief about themselves and the belief of what's possible and not possible. And so if that's a big one, because if you don't get through past that, you're going to be stuck and you have to interrupt that. And the people that interrupt that make progress, which is really powerful. Putting first things first. Often people
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, people are doing things that are, it's like if you're in chaos and you have too much to do and you're working evenings and you're working late and you're away from your family, going and get more clients is not an answer. First thing first would be get back capacity, which would be, improve your systems, get rid of some clients that aren't good, bring back some capacity that you can actually get moving on some of the important things. You'll have more time to put first things first. Yeah. We talked a lot about the win-win with clients.
Let's keep on first things first for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I'll tell you one thing with the masterclass that I talk about is that there are lots of courses, there are lots of webinars, there's boot camps, all these little freebies or $29 things that you can take. But what I do in the masterclass is give you the flow. I tell you what to do first and then what to do next. And then we can pull in proactive. The people who actually want to make those changes are proactively moving forward because they come and work with me and my team for 12 months. They yeah, I want to do this. I know how to do it, but I need the ins and outs of how to do it. And I need the handholding and the guidance and the coaching. That's being proactive. So there's lots, and not just my program. I mean, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, the people that I work with want to move into the advisor role so they're not being technicians and they're being valued. That's what we do. So if you're putting first things first and then you're being proactive and actually doing something about it, you're going to get to the end result.
I totally agree. And it's a power one. This is what I see. I mean, thinking win-win with clients. We talked a lot about that already, and some examples. I see that coming up. How people sell and talk about their services. They're talking about the features and the functions of what they do as bookkeepers. They're not trying to understand.
Don't do that.
The business owner, and so that's a huge opportunity there. And then taking, those, I would say those would be the big ones. Yeah. That if you were going to focus on a few or one would be good, those would be the ones that I see many people struggling with. Yes. And if you can have a breakthrough in one of those, it's going to lead to new things. It's going to lead to breakthroughs in other areas. So that's, listener, if you're there, pick one and work on it, and you will see results. Isn't that exciting?
Definitely.
It can't be that easy.
It
Start
is,
small
though. It
and
is.
seed and grow.
Yeah, you have to keep evolving. We're always evolving, right? Never stop. Never stop growing. Never stop learning. Just don't accept where you are. There's always a way to change. If you're not happy with what you're doing, there's always a way to change. And you can lean on great thought leaders like this to help you get there.
You got it. Your accelerator is coming up soon. You do it 3 times a
October.
year. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, go to accelerate2advisor.com, get registered for the next one that's coming up, and you'll be able to spend a whole bunch of time with Lisa. And
It's fun,
get some
too.
of the
It's
stuff worked out.
interactive.
Absolutely. People
Yeah.
love your program. I
I
mean,
love
so many
doing it.
guests have been on this podcast and worked with you and attended your programs, and they absolutely love you. And it's because you do a lot of these things. You think win-win with your people that you work
But
with.
I really love working with these people. I absolutely love it.
You do. And it shows. It shows. Well, this has been fantastic. I absolutely love having you on the podcast. We always have great conversations. And so I want to thank you for your generosity for being on the show.
Well, thank you. These are always fun. Anytime.
What a powerful finish. Today, we turn Stephen Covey's timeless habits into day-to-day moves, win-win pricing and boundaries, discovery that sells without pressure, true team synergy and partner networks, and routines that sharpen the saw so you can perform at your best. And with that, we wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. For more on today's guest and additional resources, visit thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.